Your child's safety is non-negotiable. Steps to screen your sports personnel. Let's get into it. Ensuring the safety of our young athletes is crucial. Doing background checks at least every 90 days on sports personnel or people that are close to your kids is of utmost importance. We see all too many times stories like this popping up about a coach or a teacher or a friend of a parent sexually assaulting our kids. It's time to do our work, the behind the scenes work, to make sure that this doesn't happen and your child doesn't become a statistic. You might say, well, who are you and what qualifies you to teach us or tell us about child safety with sexual abuse and all this? I have 20 years in public service. I was a parole agent for a sex offender unit for almost 15 years. I worked for the Department of Children and Family Services for close to 10 years. So I've dealt with children, I've dealt with abuse, and I've dealt with trauma. So enough about me. There are 4 ways that you can do your own due diligence in learning who is around your kids and learning how to prevent and ensure that your child is in a safe environment. Let's get into it. What I found through research and just being around the youth basketball sports scene is recently that AAU has started a new policy where they will have background checks in 2025. So yay for AAU. I'm not sure how deep that goes or who that's for, but according to this, anybody that participates in AAU will be required to have a background check done. Kudos to AAU. Okay, so there are 4 different ways that you can, there are a variety of ways that you can do your own background check, but for the sake of this video and for the sake of time and just so you can actually do an expedited search, there are 4 things that you should consider. The first thing is the National Sex Offender website. There is a National Sex Offender website, which we'll go into. The next is there are different, each state has their own sex offender registry as well. And we'll go through that as well. And I'll teach you and show you what the different things mean, what type of things you can find on this website, but it's very, very, very informational and helpful for you in your background investigation. Number 3 is basically social media, looking at their social media, seeing what if there's behavior on there that you agree with, don't agree with, if there are connections on there that you don't agree with or feel like you don't want your kid to be affiliated with. You can always do it. You can always look on social media, and that almost tells you everything you need to know. And then there's Google. We all Google, but do we really know how to Google? I'm going to show you a way that a lot of people don't know that can get you better results than just a basic Google. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to get into is the National Sex Offender website, which we talked about a little bit on Instagram. And this is going to be a repeat from Instagram, but for those that wasn't able to see it on Instagram, the National Sex Offender website gives you a multitude of information as well. And here's a step-by-step. I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to access the national website. So let's do it. Google. Go to nvsexoffenders.gov. Do a search. You're going to come up to the national page. Go down, search by name, search by location. You can see all of them that are around you. I'm going to put in John Doe, but I'm not going to give you the results because of security reasons. And there you go. It takes 30 seconds. Okay. So why does this matter? And I'm going to read this one sentence because this is super important and I don't want to get it wrong. So the NSOPW is the only U.S. government website that links public, state, territorial, and tribal sex offender registries in one national search site. Regular searches are important. Like most jobs or most things you do, they may, as soon as you get hired, they will do the search, and then that'll be it. But I recommend doing it every 90 days. You never know what people are getting into. So I recommend every 90 days. That way you are safeguarding your kids. You know that you checked, and that should be in your calendar every quarter. Every 90 days, you need to do a check on whoever that you think is in your child's life that you want to make sure that they good. All right, number 2, utilizing the state sex offender registry. Each state has their own registry, like I said earlier, and I have attached a link to every state in the United States to the caption. So you should be able to access this link and be able to, whatever state you're in, you should be able to access this. The state registry gives you a multitude of information, the name, the address, the offense, the date. They give you quite a bit of information. But because I used to work for state parole in California, we're going to go over some of the things that California State Registry offers you that can give you some insight into someone's past. And I've blurred out a few things because I don't want to get in trouble, but I've blurred out a few things, but you'll get the gist of all the type of information that you can gather from this particular website. All right, this is the California Sex Offender Registry. The top of the portion of this page gives you a picture, known aliases, name, description. It also gives you what they did. You can look this up in the PC Penal Code to find out exactly what these things mean. It shows you when they committed the crime and when they were released from prison. If they were released recently, you can actually contact their probation or parole officer using another website I can provide for you in the comments. Now, the bottom half of the same page, it gives you their risk assessment. It's called a static 99 score. And right here is a 0. It goes 0 to 8, I believe. 0 being the least of a risk, 8 being the highest of a risk. But honestly, this doesn't really mean much, because if they were in prison over 20 years, they couldn't have done anything within that 20 years. So when they get out, their score is automatically, most times, a 0. So I wouldn't go too much off of that. It gives you prior addresses and tattoos. So you might ask, well, if I got the national website, why do I need to check the state? Well, the state may miss something the national didn't. The national may miss something the state didn't. The state websites give you more detailed information on certain things. So it's good to do both. That way you can cross-reference and do a comprehensive view on whoever it is that you're doing a background check on. And it gives you way more information. All right, number 3 is something that you probably all do anyways, and that's looking at social media. You can find out a lot about somebody using social media. If they don't have their privacy settings correct, or they just don't care and just be wilding out online, you can learn a lot about a person. You can learn a lot about a person's character. You can learn a lot about a person's behavior outside the norm of the basketball gym. So looking at someone's social media, going in, just doing a basic search. Some of you guys probably already do. Name or email. You can go ahead and do a basic search in there, and you can kind of see if that person is somebody you want around your kids. So what are we looking for? Consistency. Making sure that their online persona is in line with their professional role. Making sure that it aligns to what they say they are. And behavioral cues. Be alert to posts that have a multitude of profanity, belittling people, bullying people, gangs, sexual and problematic behavior that you don't deem, something that you would want around your kids. These are the type of things that you look for when you're doing your social media background check. Why is it so crucial? Why is social media backgrounds crucial? It offers insight. It offers insight into an individual's character, like I said earlier. And this is something that's so important nowadays, and it's something so simple that you can do yourself. And last but not least, good old Google. First thing we do when we don't know someone, or we need to figure something out, what do? We get on our phones and we just go straight to Google, right? Google them. And that'll kind of give you an idea on some of the things. You can follow up from there, but Google them. But I told you I had something special for you. So with Google, a lot of people don't know, but there are things called advanced operators in Google. And with advanced operators, it kind of narrows down that search. So if I wanted to search Crystal Hogan, but there are probably a million other Crystal Hogans, what I would do is I would put Crystal Hogan in quotations. I would put Crystal Hogan in quotations. And then because I'm a referee, I would put referee in quotations. And because I am from the city of Compton, I would put Compton in quotations. That will narrow down your search about Crystal Hogan. And so if you do that with a coach, or if you do that with someone that's a teacher or someone, whoever's involved, if you do that using those advanced operators with the quotations, let me know what you find. You're welcome. And last but not least, your vigilance, it makes a difference. So please share your thoughts, your experiences, any questions, put them in the comments below and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more information like this. We all have a common goal, and that's our student athlete. So thank you for listening. Thank you for coming over to EduSports Ref YouTube channel. Here at EduSports, we prioritize the safety and well-being of our student athletes.